Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Test, test, test. Connection looks good. It's probably good. Yeah, I see everything. Things are working. It's good. Okay. Uh, is the mic still working? Might cut out for a sec. So we're back, and everyone's level 2 now, and not level 1. I made level 2 versions of everyone. Oh, I forgot she could grow. Gosh, there's a lot of stuff here going on. This isn't for Rochelle. That's not her. She doesn't have that. She has Hardy, I think. Yes, she does. Wait, did she pick up something that boosts her emotion? Why does she have that? I forgot why that's there. Apologize while I figure out where she got that from. No, she shouldn't have that. Doesn't make sense for her anyways. Regardless, there we go. Knock that off. She doesn't have it anymore. So yes, they are level 2 now. So most of these people have like 30 health. I think you have also 30. Rochelle should have 33. Sid has 27. Oh, right, I need to actually update them. So I leveled them up because I felt like they have hit the limit of what they can actually fight. I don't think there's any value for having them fight like level 4 monsters when they clearly cannot handle level 3 very well. So we're going to bump them up to level 2, which gives them a small boost to health, which should hopefully let them actually get things done and actually survive for any decent amount of time. Nox, Rochelle. Okay, so everyone else has like. So you have 14 because you got 3. They're casters, so they get a bit more. These guys I'm not tracking. So difference is, what did I get her? I think I got her I got MIDI Force and Opening. I think that's the new one. Oh no, Dancing Dagger. She took Dancing Dagger. Nox. Nox took Favored Domain. So whenever he uses a water spell, its complexity will be 1 less effectively, slightly lower. That'll make it easier for him to do a lot of his stuff. And he does have water prepared, as he should. Rochelle took Magic Adept, so now she can actually hit things with her magic. Hooray. And Sid, I gave Cruel Blade. Doesn't do much yet. It'll do a bit more once he hits 4th level. But for now, it does just 1 extra damage. He's building up to it. He's building up to something better. I forgot that his logic was suffering a bit for him. He would need a bit more logic to make good use of that. But he'll get there, of course. He's got a long way to go. Let me find the bestiary. Oh, what are we going to pit him up against? We're not going to go straight to level 4. Because that'd be a little silly. We're going to do, I think, a level... We're going to pit them against like 4 kobolds to see how that goes for them. I don't think there's going to be much value for them fighting a lot of level 0s, but I want to see how they perform. Actually, I don't think they'll perform differently at all. I'm going to just skip. Yeah, I'm just actually change the plans. Skipping level 0. Level 0 won't make any difference. We're going to throw in Haunted Swords. We're going to do level 1 Haunted Swords. Yes, Haunted Swords. 2 Haunted Swords. We'll probably try zombies as well. If I can remember what Haunted Swords are capable of. Let's see here. 16 hit points. Okay. I don't expect much difference between like level 1 and 2 because it's such a small jump. I'm expecting that people will be able to survive better because that's like the biggest thing people got is more HP. They all do 1 extra damage. Like if I go to Sid, go to his offenses, you can see it's +2, +6 now. Before it was +1, +5. So everything should be working. Level 3 is when they'll be able to take another major feat, and that's when they're going to be able to start doing like more interesting things. I think the biggest addition here would be Rochelle's ability to use magic competently. Their initiatives should not have changed. So let's begin. So it's a +4, +5, +3, +4. 4 initiative scores for main party. Mindy gets 18. Nox gets 22. Rochelle gets 16. And Sid rolls badly and gets a 9. And swabs. What were their roll? They have a +5? Alright, okay. And they get 23. So they end up going first, actually. I'm gonna start moving things around. Some extras. There we go. Excellent. Okay, swords are going first. There'll be Nox, Mitty, Rochelle, and then Sid. What did I give Nox? I think I gave him a shield feat. No, I did not. Oh, Duh, I said this. I gave him favored domain. I'm doing this earlier to see if to hope that I'm less tired, but clearly I am still very tired. The swords act first. They easily reach their target, and they are both going to slash. I can look at their sheet. What do? All right, they have a +7 brute attack roll. I'm going to have them slash twice each. And their targets are Nox is 16. Rochelle is 17. Nox can raise his shield if he wants to, which he probably will. He doesn't have anything else he can use reactions on, I believe. So Blue's aiming for possibly an 18. If Nox raises his shield, we're going to say he probably does. So he's going to be aiming for an 18, and Red's going to be aiming for a 17. That makes sense. Okay, so 1 hit from Blue, and 2 hits from Red. So Nox gets hit once, and Rochelle actually gets hit twice. 2d4 physical damage each. Okay. So Nox takes 6. Rochelle has acid resistance, not physical resistance. So she takes 8 and 6, so not a good opening volley for her. She takes a lot of damage. Thankfully, it is Nox's turn, and which one did I? And he does not have luminous damage prepared, which is unfortunate because this is an undead creature. Probably have swapped him off Aether, but whatever. Well, this is what we're dealing with. So he's probably just gonna freeze this guy. He can't do that yet. He can frostbite. That'll still only be 1 because that's still minimum 1, can't go lower than that. So adjacent frostbite 3 times from Nox. And Nox, his magic is a +7. And this will be against the sword's fortitude, and the fortitude he's aiming for is a 14. He hits all of them, and he crits on the last hit. Okay, I think the blue sword is probably doomed. If that's the case. He was using just regular magic, so 1d8 +7. So 2 regular hits, 1 crit. It's all ice damage, which I don't think the sword resists in any way. No, it only has resistance to physical damage. That is 13, 14, and an 18. That is substantial overkill. Only 3 mana. Yeah, blue is gone completely. Frozen to death, frozen to the point where the steel snaps in half. And the internet connection is bobbing all over the place according to OBS. It's fine, it's green now. It's just so much power, it's freezing the internet. Anyways, MIDI. What do we do with MIDI? Probably just walk over. She can totally make that run anyway. She makes it over here, easy enough. She is flanking, so now she is targeting a 14 instead of a 15. I'm realizing that using physical attacks isn't going to help much, but her other option is fire, and that's not going to help her too much either. I might actually get her magic as well for level 3. Maybe. It might be interesting to give her some like sorcery or something. But we'll see. I'm not sure if she needs other things from her own field at the moment. Let's see. But that would give me 3 characters of magic of some degree. Right now, Nox is the dedicated magic user, but then Rochelle and Mitty would both be magic capable. That'd be fun, I think. But for now, I think she'll just try to stab the sword, as odd as that might look. Finesse of 6 versus an armor of 14. She's guaranteed to do something, at least, but she's going to be taking a lot of her damage out due to this defense. So she'll dual strike, and she'll use her last AP to just do a normal hit. And she has force and opening now. So she hits both dual strikes. The second die will have its die step increased. Basically, instead of a D6, it'll be a D. She only hits once. It's sneak attack? Is the sword susceptible to sneak attack? It is, technically. Yeah, precision immunity is kind of rare. Generally, like, amorphous or irregular creatures get it, not like a solid object. Something that's solid will generally not be immune to precision. So we have is a 1d6 plus 1 due to the reduction, plus 1d4. Yes, d4 precision. Do we want to do anything special? Well, she can Dancing Dagger to back up, but I don't think she will. I think she'll stay in range. She doesn't have a reason to leave. Okay, she does a whopping 6 damage. So, I mean, that's a third. Now, Rochelle. Rochelle has more options now because she can reliably use her magic. She's probably going to do Adjacent Corrode, which is acid. I don't think the swords are weak to acid, but they're not resistant to it, so that's a good idea. She could heal herself, but I feel like just taking out the sword would be faster. This is going very well for them, now that they are able to do things that aren't physical. I would feel really bad for a party that's just all like regular knights. Like Sid would have like the worst time, because he has a very small bonus or flat modifier, and these guys have like 5 physical resistance. It's a lot. These swords can take a hit or physical hit pretty well. They just can't take anything else very well. All right, Rochelle is targeting their 14 armor or fortitude. She's going to be having +5. Not very high, but better than, I guess, nothing. Better than what it was. It's too higher than it used to be. She's going to try that 3 times. I don't expect her to do as well as Nox did, but hope for the best. And she does not crit, but she hits once. That helps. So this thing's gonna have a lot of damage. I did not track her. We're gonna actually add this. Okay. Where is Nox? Yes, you give me these. These are good. And these use... Oh, for frick's sake. Okay, you use Charisma. Oh, they're literally the same for her. Yeah, 1d8 plus 5. Oh, these are... The copy and pasting doesn't seem to do too well. I'm not sure why. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Here we are. Plus 5. 1d8 plus 5 for both, for all of her acid. Well, which is just one acid. And deals absolute minimum damage, so 6 damage. So the sword lives. What was that? No, I want that to be quiet. Don't do that. Hold on one moment. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but that was a noise that I don't want being picked up. Okay, enough stomping around already. I don't need more of this. And wow, the internet connection is sort of flopping a lot. I wonder why. Oh well, we're here still. Never mind. Might not be. Nope. Hold. Maybe. I have no idea how this looks online. Well, I'm not moving, so I can't even tell. What am I even doing? Oh well, we'll figure this out. We're going to Sid. Sid be shooting? I don't know what he's gonna be doing here. Is it worth using Studied Foe? This thing is so weak. I feel like he's just gonna take the shot, even though if he's not likely to do a lot, he's not likely to do a lot of damage. Yeah, 1d10 plus 2. He's having 6, so. Oh yeah, he has dual strike, so he can fire all 4 times. He needs to hit a 14. He hits exactly once. Oh boy. Yeah, study target would have actually been a good idea. In retrospect, the +2 would have been nice. By the way, I buffed that. It used to be +1, but I buffed it to +2 a while ago. Just not using those last 2 +0 shots would have been better. Oh well. So he burns his shots, rapid reloads that, and now we're going to deal damage. So it's d10 minus 3. He actually rolls well and deals 6 damage. He shoots the sword to death. How often do you hear a sentence like that? There you go. They beat the sword challenge. That went rather well for them. They barely had the move. Alright, let's give them back their stuff. Alright, you have 33 health. At some point, I would want to try an endurance test to see how long they can keep going until they run out of recovery points. Maybe I can do that level, I want to say 3? Not at low level, because we're doing a lot of testing at low level. One of the levels where I'm doing tests, maybe level 3, but no, that's when they get a new thing. Maybe level 4, but that's when they bump up to it. not a good place. Level 6 is like the closest good spot. 5th is a major is where you get a major feat, so that's gonna be like a new capacity for them, and that might not be the best time. 4 is when they bump up and get like stat boosts and everything, so that's not a good threshold either. 3 is another major feat. Yeah, 6 would be like a minor feat where nothing happens. That'd be a good endurance run, but that's like a long ways away. We'll see. I'll consider it. Or I'll think about it. Give him back his 4 bullets. They clearly had no trouble with the level 1 creature. Probably more of a fluke than anything, but they had both the advantage and they got around the sword's main weakness, or main defense. The swords have very little HP. Zombies have a lot more. That might work better. They hit harder as well. No, wait, they don't hit harder. They hit less hard. Yeah, they have a lot more HP, and there'd be more of them. I'm not going to give Nox's luminous damage, because I want to see how well they can do with just normal zombies. They have 30 HP. Switch over. Gosh, they have no initiative score. Okay, good to know. There's a dog barking in the background. As dogs do. Okay, let's see here. So we have 1 zombie. This leads to 4 zombies. Simple enough, right? There we go. So we're going to roll initiative, which we've done many times, so I'm sure you're all familiar with it. I messed up. There we go. So Midi rolls low with a 12. Nox rolls really low with a 13. Rochelle actually gets an 18, and Sid gets a 16. The zombies on your end, those are like the deal breakers. When they go, the big deal. Okay, they get a 3. There we go. I should do it. So for the first time, Rochelle goes first. This is unprecedented, I think. Maybe not. She knows Cone as a personal ability, as a form. Huh. I think I'm going to have her cast Ironhide on her. I'm going to have her lead with Ironhide on herself. The self 2 personal, so 2 mana for half her spellcasting score, which is only 3. Okay, so she's getting physical resistance of 1. Should I give her granite? Hang on. Nah, granite plate's easier. That's much better. So +1 armor. Spends a mana. Gain some defense. If I can find the shield icon. Here it is. There you go. So that's just 1 AP because it's such a simple spell. So now she can spend an action moving forward. And then she's just gonna, I think, just punch something. Yeah, that'll work. So she has a +7 right now. She's not enraged. She didn't have time to set that up yet. Zombies have armor 14, so they're going to be pretty easy to hit, actually. I say that, but she could just miss. You know why I said she could miss? Yeah, she missed. She needed at least a 7. She rolled a 6 +7. She needed an actual roll of 7, and she rolled 1 lower. Okay, so she misses the zombie. So now it is Sid's turn. Sid, what do I want to do with you? I want him to shoot green. I think he's got enough of a line to hit. Target is 14 again. Actually, he is going to use Studied Target for 2 AP. And he's going to dual strike with his last target. So he's not using +6, he's going with +8. Well, at the base, then lower. So then he'll dual strike. He hits twice easily. That's 2 bullets spent. So 1d10 plus 2 damage each. 5 and 8. Here we go. And then he uses his remaining actions, or his reaction to reload. Now we're up to Nox. Nox has not changed his magic, so he does not have any holy magic, or light magic, or whatever. But he does have his ice magic still. He still can't beam ice too easily, because that's still 2 mana. I think buffs would matter a lot more. I mean, yeah, buffs would matter a lot more if these are harder enemies, but I don't know how much damage a zombie's going to do. I doubt much. I will move forward for 1 AP. And then just ice, I suppose. There's not much reason not to ice. I mean, look at this. +7. Versus, oh, actually. Zombies have pretty good fortitude. Okay, 16. Still good. It's not as good. I get the feeling I should have buffed first, but whatever. We're here now. And we hit twice. That's 1d8 plus 7. Wow, these are good rolls. 14 and a 12. This zombie's nearly dead due to ice. Now we're down to MIDI. Whoops, there we go. Internet is being all kinds of weird. It hasn't disconnected, but definitely hasn't been great. Oof. Making sure it's still going. It hasn't disconnected yet. It's just still in the red. Yellow, green. That's concerning. We have a zombie who's red. We have a zombie who's green. Red is closer to getting knocked out. I have Minnie move up here. She can't sneak attack. I hope I'm not cutting out because this internet is getting just awful. At least it looks awful. I have no idea what it looks like on the stream. No one's in it to tell me what's going on. But it's not consistent. Oh, that's okay. I'm looking at the dropped frames. Yeah, we're at like 15% of this stream is dropped frames, apparently. This is probably just awful then. Well, alright, we'll probably cut the stream off early after this fight because, or maybe at like the hour mark I'll cut it off because this is definitely not like good quality. Maybe I'll do testing on my own time. Alright, so she moved. That was 1 AP because she's fast. Now she's just going to attack. Okay. Two swings, that's a dual strike and then a regular strike. Wow, that is some swing. Okay, so a 24, a 5, and a 15. And the 24 is actually a crit too. So she crits the zombie. She completely whiffs the others, the second hit, because that's a double 1. She rolls snake eyes on her second attack. And then she hits the third hit. So a crit and then a normal hit. She's not sneaking, so she doesn't get sneak attack damage, but it's like 1d6 plus 6. Yep, there we go. Wait, that was the wrong person. No, wait, that was the right person. Or was it? No, this is the right person. Right. Yeah. Oh, that tracks. Wait. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, her dexterity is 4 plus. Yep, there we go. Never mind. That's fine. I was thinking her dexterity was 5 for some reason, not that. Oh well. This is definitely overkill. The zombie was dead on the first crit. Yep. And the second hit was an 8. I could have her move again, but there's no reason for her to do so. There's nothing else she would do with her last AP. But yeah, this internet is not working. I think doing it during the middle of the week is not great. Or maybe it's just this specific day is just bad. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, in one round, one zombie has died, but there's still 3 more remaining. So green can attack 3 times. Blue's gonna move up here next to Midi. Well, no, green can't attack 3 times because they only have attacks that take 2 AP. Okay, never mind. How fast does the zombie move? Not very. Okay, land speed of 3, so... Okay, purple does get there in time. So blue will attack Midi with 1 hit, and then green and purple will hit Rochelle with 1 hit each. And their attack is a +6. I see green numbers. Okay, no, that's not a crit. 1 off from being a crit. So blue rolls a 14, which I don't think hits. No, Midi has 15. So she evades that. Green swings a 23, and P swung a 17. Actually, the 17 misses with the defense boost, because Rochelle has, like, what, 17 normally +1, like, yeah, +1 temporary because of her shielding. So yeah, she is 18, so purple actually misses. Green hits, though. So she does take 1 punch. 2d4 + 1. So yeah, her buff actually made a difference. 2d4 + 1. Okay. So 7 damage to Rochelle. She probably doesn't care too much about that. Well, it's a decent chunk, but she'll be fine. And the zombie can't do anything else with its last AP, so yeah, it just sits there. And that's about all it can do. Zombies aren't very threatening, actually. They're definitely lasting longer than the swords did. The swords got to go first, so they still did something, but they did not last the rest of the round. Zombies have actually survived into the second round. How long that will last is hard to say because Rochelle is now very angry. Don't think I've changed her rage anything. You know, she doesn't have any rage powers, so she's just rage. +2 to attacks. So now she has 2 AP to just hit something. So she's going to swing twice, and then I guess if she kills green with the first strike, she'll hit the purple with the second strike. Otherwise, just hit both with green. Same difference here. Okay, a 15 and a 19. So those do hit. 1d10 + 7. Goodness, she hits hard. Alright, 2 swings. 11. Okay, she does need both. She could have actually dealt enough damage to KO it, but that's max damage, and so that's like a 10% chance for her. So green is dead. And no longer studied. Because they are dead. Well, dead-er. Unfortunately for Sid, that was his target, so he's going to have to try something else. He is going to I think he's just... These guys have low armor, but he'd need a natural roll of 14 on his last 2 shots. So he's going to study target again. So now he has +2 attack and +1 to damage. I forgot about that last time. The damage, I mean. Then he's going to dual strike to get 2 shots out. And he doesn't crit, but he does hit twice. That's 1d10 plus 3 each. $11 and a 4. One good roll, one really bad roll. Oh well. It's 2 bullets down, then he spends a reaction to gain his bullets back. Or refill in the chamber. Nox, it is your turn. Zombies are in the way. Or dead zombie corpses in the way, so move there. That's about as far as Nox can go, I think. Yep, he is very slow. So is Rochelle, actually. Yep, very slow. Not going anywhere. Yeah, stretching. Okay. How's our frame drop? It's dropped to 14% instead of 15%. So, I mean, that's an improvement of some description. Not much of an improvement, honestly. Wow, it is cutting out a lot. I hope that's not coming through too badly. I'll find out later when I rewatch the VOD, but for now, continue as normal. How are things looking? Maybe he's not spent an action getting closer. What did he do the first round? He spent mana. He definitely spent some mana. I just don't remember what on what. Probably just ice shots. So we're gonna do ice shots again. Yay! That's basically just Nox's things. Walking up to people, grabbing them, and then freezing them a lot. How much health does he have? He might survive a bit. Let me see if I want to do something fancy with him. Nah, there's nothing special I can do with this zombie. Freeze flesh would be neat, but that's really on agile creatures, and this guy is, and these enemies are not agile. So hitting him with that is not going to be too useful. When we get better at magic, or when Nox gets better at magic, he'll be able to do a bit more. I think his problem is that if he wants to be good with his AP usage, he has to get up close to things, because otherwise he's using 2 AP if he goes anything above 1 mana each. Because his max anything is pretty low. The best he could do is an adjacent 4 complexity spell if he uses Eldritch Focus, but he can't do that if he moved. So it's probably better to do 3 with a beam. But for an attacking spell, that's not too useful. That's only a die increase for going up. Not something he needs to use. Versus a 16, he misses twice, so he does half damage still. $1d8 plus... Oof, I keep forgetting this. Yeah, +7. That is correct. It deals half damage still. I might change that because it seems weird to still do half damage even though it's not like an explosion or an area of effect. AoE has, like, they do something to the damage, but not, they don't, like, maybe I can switch it so that area attacks actually add the halving thing, or the miss deals half damage clause, or I'm not sure if there's a proper name for that, but 7 and 4 damage. That was the wrong person. They have the same amount of HP. There we go. Now the zombie has 19, not Nox. Nox has got all the mana he needs. On one hand, magic does use a resource, but on the other hand, eventually he'll be able to have either enough mana to keep doing that consistently, or have like the cantrip feat that'll let him do like really cheap spells for free. But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's an interesting quirk of the system right now, and I'm not sure if changing that is the right idea. All right, Mitty. She hasn't used her fire breath in a while, but she's been too close to everyone. She'd have to go first and open with that. If everyone else is waiting in the combat first, she's not going to be able to use it. It's not like that's her main method. I don't think this up here would count as flanking, so I'm just going to have her down here and attack. Her target is 14. Going to dual strike. And then perform 2 normal strikes. So she's just using her whole full turn. That is again, another wave. So a 15, 29, and 19. Actually, that 19 is a crit. Okay, so 3 hits. The last one was a crit. Uh, 1d6 plus 6, okay. This probably kills the zombie. I don't think it's gonna like taking that many hits. Especially if one of them was a crit, so 9, 10, 13. Oh, I actually killed it before the crit. Oh well. He's dead now. That means purple gets one more action before Rochelle just beats the crap out of it. Because again, that's the best it can do. So it's going to swing. It's actually going to hit. And 5 damage. Wonderful. Spectacular performance. Granted, Rochelle is now down to like 2/3 of her health, just a little under that. It's not like it's not doing it. It's not like it's doing nothing. It's still definitely hurting. It's just Rochelle takes hits better than that. So she's in rage still, and this is her second round of rage, so she could still just... Let's just see. How much health does purple have? 15. Okay, we'll do 2 swings. We'll just see if okay, never mind. That has 2 hits. So yeah, this is a dead zombie. I don't think he can live through this. Yeah, no. Yeah, even minimum damage would have been enough. Which she almost rolled. She rolled a 8 and a 9, so minimum is 8 for each hit. 8 is enough regardless. And that is it for the zombies. Okay, drop frames are now above 15%, approaching 16%. So I hope what I'm saying is getting through. Though I guess half of why I'm doing this is just so I have something to say other than just doing this in silence. Because just playing this, doing this testing in silence would have been like really, that would have been a real drag on me, I think. Uh-oh. It dropped real low. Connection is just going all over the place. I think it held. But yeah, I definitely need to switch off. So we're just going to look at the characters. Think about where they can go later. Probably put them up against level 2 creatures in the next session. Yeah, I'm looking at their abilities. Midi's charisma is actually pretty high. She would be just as good at magic as she is with her knife. So like that'd be a good way. That'd be a good direction for her actually, giving her access to starting magic. She'd be better at it than Rochelle is. Hmm. But yeah, that's one thing. I'm thinking that Midi could go into magic at 3rd level. Later than Rochelle did, but I think that would help her, just give her something else to do other than Fire Breath. Fire Breath is cool. It hits like a truck. And it's basically a free, I can blast a big area without spending mana or having to cast a spell or anything. Alternatively, she could always go. And if she does go into sorcery or any kind of magic, really, there's a few that you can pick from. There's also war magic, that feat list. It's a smaller tree. I don't think it goes all the way to legend. There's just not enough stuff for it yet. But basically, that lets her combine magic and melee a lot better. So she could basically turn into, if you're familiar with Pathfinder, the Magus, or like I do not know if I want to make her a wizard or a sorcerer. Actually, no. With that high charisma, she's either going to be going into divine magic and taking the evangelist alternate feat, or she's going to go into sorcery. Her logic and intuition are not very good, and she doesn't have the strength to go into blood magic, so she's definitely doing sorcery. Blood magic would actually be really good for Rochelle, because that would let her use her strength instead of her magic, or instead of her charisma. So that might actually, so going to blood magic might actually be a pretty good step for Rochelle. Though she'll need to take both the main blood magic feat and then also the minor feat that actually switches her casting stat. Because the major feat just makes it so she can drain HP to cast spells, so she can use her HP like mana, but it'll reduce her mana pool a bit, which is fine. It basically just counters her caster bonus. So that'd basically be her whole level on just getting that up online. But that would give her a +2 boost to her magic, and I wouldn't need to worry so much about boosting her mental stats. Though I might still boost him because, I mean, I get 3 boosts. So putting him on other stats is like, that's going to happen. I'm going to have things other than strength getting boosted. But I'll let her basically put everything on one stat. And all she'd be missing is her evasion, which will always be terrible. Definitely gonna need to find a way to help with her evasion. There are feats for that, but right now, evasion isn't the most dangerous type, but I think eventually, as she gets stronger, her evasion is still going to lie behind. She's going to be boosting intuition, I think, because that will help her keep her evasion up while her dexterity languishes. Because intuition does feed into evasion. I said it would stop the session, but I might as well just talk shop. This is part of the fun, planning all the things that you can do with a character. An alternative is to go down. Oh, what's the road? It's the armor adept sort of feat line, so that she can actually move normally with heavy armor, but that takes a little while. Does she have slow and steady? I think she does. No, she doesn't. What armor is she wearing then? She's wearing medium armor. Oh yeah, this should probably take that off. Yeah, she's wearing medium armor, not heavy armor. So her encumbrance is 1, but she could take a feat to make it so that she still moves at full speed while in like 1 encumbrance. 2 encumbrance would still slow her down, but at 1 encumbrance she'd be able to push her speed back up to 4. And from there she can like spec into going faster or having abilities to get her around more, or delving deeper into her melee abilities. Rochelle can go in a lot of places. Blood magic would help her a lot, I think. That basically means I'm dedicating even more into her magic when we already have Nox as dedicated spellcaster, but we'll see. I'm not sure what to do with Nox. If we go to his feats, he's split in a lot of areas. His melee abilities, like he can hit things, but that has been not helping him too much. He's been going full magic whenever he's close to something. And his Search Spear just does less damage, so why would he do that? So I don't know if I want to invest in making his melee better, or if I say screw it and just delve into the war magic again, because war magic has more feats, and start delving into the bound weapons feat, because a bound weapon can eventually lead to letting Nox use his spellcasting score as his melee attack. So that's like pretty deep. He'd have to go in there he'd have to be in bound weapon a little while. It's definitely not something he'd be able to do like at 3rd level. And that's also an expert feat, so he'd be at it for a while. It'd be like 5th level at the earliest that he'd be able to start doing that. Actually, is it even 5th level? It might actually be 9th level. I can check that. But I won't for now, because I'm already going over when I'd say it'd stop. Just watching the internet, it's not terrible right now, but I say that and it's probably going to just start fluctuating again. I can't say that right. Fluctuating. Why can't I say that? Well, regardless. I could delve deeper into guardianship actually, because he does have shield adapt, so he's dipped into using his shield. He could actually go further into guardianship and which would allow him to actually defend his party better, because there's like lockdown and Bryce and other abilities that would allow him to make better use of his melee abilities to prevent enemies from moving or to reduce the damage they do to other characters. And that might complement his cleric duties. At least when he has his buffs prepared. So I'm not sure what to. So Sid's pretty much a one-trick pony. He is going all ham on shooting with guns, and I don't think he has any intention of moving on to magic. He's definitely going to take more from studied foe, which means more from assassination. He's going to go further into sharpshooting. He'll probably go further into finesse to get better dual strike abilities. Yeah, Sid, out of all these characters, Sid is the least likely to delve into magic. He just doesn't have a need to do so. I mean, he could. He'd be about as good at it as Rochelle is, but I don't think I want to divest him. I want to see how far he can take the 4 pistols, because that is a strong gimmick. That's kind of like the whole point of him having 4 arms and 4 pistols. I keep forgetting he could climb. I need to make use of this somehow, but it's hard to do that in these little box arenas. This is a lot more useful outside of battle, when you can actually, because in inside battle, a lot of enemies will also either have ranged abilities, like at high levels, or they'll have the ability to chase after him, either through flight, climb, their own, or whatever. But outside of combat, he could actually just get around. It's sort of like budget flying. As long as there's a surface, he can climb it. That would allow him to get around. In like a dungeon, he'd be able to climb around, which is pretty good. And yeah, technically he could fire while climbing, though he'd still have to dedicate at least one hand to holding on. So he couldn't fire, well, he could fire 4 times, I suppose, if he fired with the other guns. And yeah, I'm not sure how that would work if he's holding a weapon. He might have to holster something to actually climb. That makes sense. Because he's not going to be able to climb too well if he's holding a gun, so he'd probably have to put at least one away so he has something to hold on to. Because he only has 2 legs, and they're not enough. Yeah, definitely going to delve deeper into assassination. I want him to keep boosting his logic score. I think I'm going to end up ignoring his intuition because he doesn't use it for anything. His logic will be used with his assassination tricks. All those feats will be feeding off of logic, so he'll be boosting that. He'll be boosting his dexterity to actually hit things. But intuition's other purpose would have been his evasion score, and he has plenty of evasion. Yeah, his evasion's fine. He doesn't need more intuition to boost that further. How is the internet? It is actually doing a lot better. The drop frames are still happening. I open my mouth and immediately get more drop framed. That's what I get. That's the nonsense I deserve. Oh well. And yep, there we go. That's what I get for opening my mouth. Anyway, that's why I'm thinking. It seems like, since it's weird in Pathfinder, like one of the games this is based off of. If you want magic, you have to basically sacrifice a lot of your offensive abilities. It seems like in Patchwork, you could actually make both work pretty well. Even then, since magic is basically open to everyone, you could still take it and have some utility from it. If you're willing to put up a major feat for it, you'll have utility for having some magic. Again, magic items can also fill this role because anyone can use a magic item. You don't need to be a spellcaster to use a, a staff that throws fireballs. There are wands which do require you to be a spellcaster, but those are like specifically to give you access to components that you don't have, which is a spellcaster only thing, and wouldn't make sense for someone who can't cast spells anyways. Unless I guess you have an ancestral spell, that would work. I forgot I gave her giant form. I want to use this because this sounds like a fun time. Probably not worth it in most of those cases, but gaining the reach and just being able to block the corridor, that would be interesting. Or being able to grapple something that's larger. I could get her, I think, Bear Stance. It's a brawling thing, but it works for all attacks. That would let her use her size a bit more, but nah, we'll leave that for now. She hasn't used her elemental surge from Mystic Heritage. I forgot she had Mystic Heritage. She doesn't get much from it right now. Though getting 1d4 damage for the remainder of your turn, I should have been using that. That's like an extra. That's a potential +4 damage to all of her attacks. And if she hits level 4, that'll be potential 8 damage to all of her attacks. That would have been wild. I need to be using that more. Against the swords, that wouldn't have helped much, but against the zombies, yeah, that could have made a difference. And, well, I say that like they were a challenge. The zombies were not a challenge. It would have made a difference in how quickly they get beaten into the earth. Do they get beaten in the earth in 3 rounds or 2 rounds? Take your pick. Keying magic to strength would help Rochelle a lot, but also getting further into her mystic heritage. I mean, it would also boost her sorcery because they're in the same school. Well, boost, I mean, it'll give her more access to stuff. There's a lot of directions these characters can go. When you're this early on, like, the sky's the limit. Well, sort of. Like, stats obviously dictate, like, what abilities will be viable on that specific character, but Rochelle has really high strength. So if she used blood magic, she could sort of condense everything. Or she can just keep using like Mystic Heritage and Rage to further her melee abilities. So she doesn't need more melee damage at the moment. She does plenty of damage now, so investing in it. I am talking a long time. I can go in circles about this, like for 4 characters. Even 1 character, I can just keep going and going and going. Like what's thematic? Like Mitty gaining like a sorcery and taking a fire bend or a fire theme, that would definitely be thematic for her due to her fire things. I could actually have her take Mystic Heritage as well. Though that's not necessary, I don't think. She already has a Dragon Breath weapon. Or Fire Breath weapon. Yeah, I could definitely talk circles about these. I talk about these characters for a long time. Even if I'm starting to talk in circles. I think there's another version of Mitty that I made where she actually got 2 swords instead of just 2 daggers. I think going in that direction would also be fun, so she can actually deal more damage. And I do eventually need her to emulate another character. Like in the playtest, there was, I think it was Otto, who is a dual wielding monster. So getting MIDI to be able to actually replicate that is probably like my first priority. So she's probably going to be focusing more on finesse. But she'll do finesse and sneak attack. Though I will probably have enough room to at least take, like, because I think Otto also took parry. That's also another major feat. If I could swap that for like sorcery and still have the murderous, ridiculous action that is dual strike, or at least what was dual strike, and to keep testing to see if dual strike is still a ridiculous action, murderous action. But we'll see. Let's reset the battlefield. Hopefully turn this off before the internet gives out completely. I don't think the internet's going to give out. Like, it's been threatening to, but I think we're fine to at least end the session, and people will be paying attention. 14% of the frames that we have generated have been dropped, which is not great. I'm sad that we didn't get to like some more stronger fights, but oh well. It's sort of like this problem. That's like the internet problem, I suppose. But oh well. An hour of testing is still an hour of testing. Doesn't seem like their capabilities have changed much, just that they can survive a few more hits. I don't expect level 2 to make much difference. Though again, the extra health will help them survive level 3 monsters. And maybe they'll actually be able to take on level 4. But we'll see. That's a test for another day. Thank you all for watching. And internet allowing, we shall see you all next time. Bye-bye.